Hello, my name is Fu Manchu, and if you've watched any of my past reviews, then you know I'm a huge fan of Damtoys. Now, Damtoys makes a lot of good 1/6 scale figures, especially Gangster's Kingdom, which I collect in spades. Get it? Anyways, they also make a smaller 1/12 line in collaboration with a company named COALDOG. And you know what? You get those two companies together, and they make awesome figures like this. Tony and Old Bone. They're the first figures to be released in the Death Gas Station line, and I absolutely love these figures, so much so that I've already pre-ordered the third, which is called Golden Dog. And he was supposed to be out already, but for some reason he got delayed. But that's okay, because I'm patient. Now, there's also a fourth figure that was announced called the King, Pelvis. And there should be no surprise that he's based on the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. And if you know me, then you know I'm excited about that figure, because as Mia says in Pulp Fiction,
an Elvis man should love it.
Now, the Death Gas Station isn't the only time that Damtoys has collaborated with the studio COALDOG to produce awesome figures. They actually have a 1/6 scale line called Mind Game. And as far as I know, there's only 2 figures in that line so far, but man, they look awesome. Now, I haven't seen one in hand, but when you look at the photos online, their outfits are so elaborate and weathered looking, and their sculpts are so full of character. I love them. Now, if that's not enough, they actually also have a 1/12 figure or statue or something coming out called the 100,000 Miles Project. And it is so cute. It's a little spaceship with an astronaut in it and his little dog. And they're off on adventures to see outer space. And you know what? It's awesome. But sometimes Damtoys and COALDOG bring in someone else to collaborate with them. And there's a line called GansBoy, which is also made by Kow Yokoyama. And he is the father of science fiction military. And you know what? If you've seen any of his Maschinen Krieger designs, well, then you'll instantly recognize the GansBoy head. And you know what? Those figures look awesome. Which leads us to today's review. You see, the studio COALDOG is run by a man named Park Zhi, and Park Zhi was nice enough to leave me a comment on my Tony review, and that made my day, because not only do I like his designs, but he's just been super cool to talk to. Now, he had contacted me recently, and he had asked for my address. Now, I don't normally give that kind of information out, because I'm kind of a secretive guy, and, you know, the time machine's always going around all over the place. Besides, you know, as Beetlejuice said about giving out that kind of information,
because if I tell you, you tell your friends are calling me on the horn all the time. I gotta show up at shopping centers for openings and sign autographs and shit like that, and that makes my life a hell.
Now, in his last email, Park Zhi asked me if I had pre-ordered the GansBoy Businessman, and I was like, no. And he was like, well, I'd like to send you one to review. And I was like, yep, that was the expression I had on my face. And man, he did. I mean, holy cow. So this review is not only dedicated to Park Zhi, this review is because of Park Zhi. And I really hope I do the figure justice, because I'm in no way an expert on Kow Yokoyama. Now, I have picked up the occasional Hobby Japan magazine all through the 80s. And you know what? I do remember seeing Kow Yokoyama's design, that weird little tank head kind of design with walker legs and stuff. And you know what? I absolutely loved it then, and I never thought that I would have one in my grubby little doll hands to review. So, I cannot thank you enough, Park Zhi. I mean, it was awesome enough just to hear from you. And then to receive something like this in the mail to review, well, I am honored beyond all words. Seriously, it means so much. Thank you. And honestly, I am not in the habit of receiving review samples. This is the very first one I've ever gotten. And you know what? I hope I do the figure justice. And I hope you and everyone there at COALDOG, and especially Kow Yokoyama, actually like this review. So thank you very much. And you know what? This review is dedicated to you. So let's go check it out, shall we? Today's review will be on the Damtoys, along with Kow Yokoyama's Maschinen Krieger. And last, but certainly not least, COALDOG. And this is a review for the GansBoy Businessman 1/12 scale action figure. After removing this box from the shipper, I noticed 2 things right off the bat when compared to the Death Gas Station line. 1, this box came completely sealed in plastic. And 2, this box itself is a little bit bigger than the Death Gas Station boxes. This one is 9.5 inches tall, about 9 inches across, and 4 inches deep. The front of the box has a real-life photo of Tokyo Tower in the background with a little cartoon of the businessman throwing his briefcase up in the air like he's happy. And then down below that, we have Kow Yokoyama's autograph with the year 2020. Looking at the back of the box, and it's got that same blurry out of focus picture of Tokyo Tower in the background and 3 product shots of the figure itself. And as you can see, it highlights some of the special features of this figure, one of which is a headlight. Now that is totally new because the U2 version of GansBoy didn't include a light-up eye that I know of. And also, he didn't include action finger, which is posable hands, I'm assuming. So that's really cool. Down below that, you have all the names of all the people that are responsible for bringing this figure to life, and that is awesome. You can see Park Zhi's name right there, and thank you again, Park Zhi. This is awesome. Other than that, and a little bit of writing that I can't read, this box is kind of plain, so I say we waste no more time, and I say we visit Tokyo Tower and open it! The box opens like a shoebox, and when you remove the lid and look underneath, you find the figure and all his accessories in this plastic tray. And man, oh man, first impressions. This figure is bigger than I thought it would be. Now, yes, it's still in the 112 scale, but if you've seen the Death gas station figures, they're also in the 112 scale, but they're really thin and a little shorter than the average 112 figure. But this one is way thicker than I thought he would be, and he's got that big old head, and that is amazing. And just look at those accessories. That mask looks like a real mask. The bag looks like it's actually weathered leather. That phone looks real. He comes with food, and he actually has a table. Now, I didn't know he came with that table until recently, and I cannot believe that's in there too. This looks absolutely amazing, and I say we remove this lid and get a better view at him. With the lid to the tray removed, we get a better view of the figure and all his accessories, and man, oh man, is this amazing. I am so impressed with the quality of this figure. He looks so good. I mean, number one, just look at that little bowl of ramen. It looks like it's real. It looks wet. The phone looks weathered and stuff. The mask looks weathered. His head looks wet. Everything looks so good, man. I cannot wait to see this figure standing up, and if I had one complaint, it would be, honestly, his tie's crooked. Big deal. I can fix that. Look at his neck. Look at how that piece connects. Oh, that looks so amazing. Just the details up close look so good. I am so happy, man. This thing is absolutely amazing. See the sweat drop there is upside down. That mask is so dirty looking. That looks so good. The phone, the briefcase. This is amazing. As you can see, his antennas or whatever are up here are not attached yet. This one over here is. And let's see what else we got. Got the little chopsticks there with the food in it. That is so cool indeed. And yeah, that is so cool. That table, just look at the way the wood looks on that table. So amazing. You get a little screwdriver, I'm assuming, to swap out the batteries. And just this is absolutely amazing. Look at his hands. Yeah, that is so cool, and I absolutely love it. Also included behind the figure is this plastic bag with some paperwork, and as you can see, there's some instructions on how to put the antennas on and put the batteries in the head, and it seems to be a little art print or something behind there, so I cannot wait to see what that looks like. And sure enough, it's a little art print, and I did not know that this would be included with the figure. Not only is it printed on high quality glossy paper, but man, it is so cute. You got the little businessman there gazing off into the ocean, and that is amazing. And seriously, if you're ever able to meet Park Zhi in person or Kow Yokoyama, this is something to get them to sign. Also included is this little page of notebook paper which also doubles as instructions. It says turn the GansBoy over, take the screwdriver, loosen the screws, and put the batteries inside of his head, and his lights should come on his eyes. I love how his arms and leg there are flapping like, oh, I don't know about this. And I absolutely love Park Zhi's artwork. You got a little girl there, and you got a little boy. Got some ramen with some chopsticks there sticking out of it, and that is awesome. So, here's the GansBoy businessman fresh out of the package, and just check out that head sculpt. It is so awesome. It's a little hard to get it all on the screen because he's got so many antennas and stuff, but that looks so good. Speaking of antennas, if you look at this red and white one right here, that is painted up to look like Tokyo Tower, and that is so cool. Now, I haven't put on his other antennas yet. I know he's got another set and stuff, but this is so cool indeed. He's got this one up here that's really tall, and then down here he has that same kind of U2 head that the other figure has, that Maschinen Krieger kind of head. I don't know, the Kow Yokoyama copyright head. This is so awesome looking. You can actually see the little lights inside of the eyes there. Now, I don't know if this figure came with batteries or if you have to put them in yourself. Now, I don't know if I have batteries, if it didn't come with any, so if I can't light it up, I'm sorry, but I don't know. Maybe I have them with another figure, I can pull them out or something. But as of right now, I don't know if this thing will be able to be shown lit up. But you know what? He doesn't need to light up because he looks awesome. Working our way down here to his body and suit, and I was wrong. I actually pulled this figure out, and the first thing I noticed about the legs was it felt like one of the Death Gas Station figures. So it is the same body, it's just with this outfit being all puffy, especially those broad shoulders and stuff with the shoulder pads. Yeah, it makes him look like a totally different figure, makes him look way bigger. But yeah, this is a Death Gas Station body underneath here, and that's pretty awesome. Looking at those hands, that looks so good. Just look at the weathering there. That looks amazing, and I believe the fingers are articulated, and that is so cool. You can see that this one's actually in a different formation. So yeah, I would say they're articulated because you have to at least bend them to that much. Down here at the shoes, they look like real shoes, and that is so cool. Those remind me of the Gangster's Kingdom shoes, just little tiny versions of them, and that is absolutely amazing. As for the outfit, I'd say it fits him really well. The pants are baggy, of course, down here, but he's got skinny little legs, and it looks like they're not adjusted very well right out of the box. And I did get his tie straight, but it was a little hard to do that because you have to get it to go behind this side over here, and there's a flap there, so it kind of wants to come out. But honestly, that is awesome, and he looks so good. Looking at the figure from behind, and man, that head looks just as detailed back here as it is from the front. That is awesome, man. Just to see this head, and after seeing, this design in Hobby Japan all those years ago, it's so cool to finally see one in person. That is amazing. Working our way down here to his suit, you can see it's tailor-fitted to this little body, and that is pretty awesome indeed. Like I said, the pants need to be adjusted, but that's okay. Man, he looks so good. Now, looking at the top of his head, you can see that he's got some writing there on his head. Now, I haven't been able to translate this part right here, but I do know this right here is masho, and that means let's. And I think this means let's come together or something. I'm not 100%, so if I'm wrong about that, I don't know. He's a businessman. Maybe he's trying to make a deal with somebody. That's my guess. I don't know. Maybe he's flirting with the waitress. Who knows? But honestly, this looks so cool indeed. Just look at the weathering there. That looks like a real coil there wrapped around the antenna there. That is so awesome. This is so cool. And like I said, we haven't even looked at the rest of it. He doesn't even have his full antennas on, and that is so awesome. So let's see what this hand can do. Here's how it came out of the package. And not only does it spin at the wrist, but every one of the fingers and thumb are articulated, and that is awesome. And not only are the joints nice and tight, but man, he can point and probably hold every one of those accessories perfectly. Speaking of accessories, his smallest one is this little tiny bead of sweat. Now, as you can see, it's got a little post there that comes out of the back. Well, that's because it's meant to go in the little hole on the left side of his head to add a little bit more character to your GansBoy businessman. And with that attached, now it looks like he either ate some really hot ramen, maybe he's worried he didn't land that big business deal he wanted, or maybe he just noticed that Paul Allen's business card even has a watermark. His next accessory is essential to any businessman, a little briefcase, and this one is brown leather, looking very awesome indeed. And as I pulled it out, I was also impressed to discover that the handle of the briefcase is actually articulated like a real briefcase, and that is something they didn't have to do. Looking at the side of the briefcase, and just look at the details there. It's got the accordion kind of leather look there. That is so awesome. And yet again, I'm impressed. Look at the back detail. There's a little zipper. Oh my goodness. I mean, that detail, that's something else they didn't have to do. It could have just been plain and flat and brown, and that would have looked awesome. But honestly, this looks like a real briefcase. And it's going to look amazing in his hand. His next accessory is essential to any up-and-coming on-the-go businessman, a 1983 Motorola Dynatac 8000X mobile phone, and just look at the details on it. Oh, this takes me back. Man, these things are awesome, and I can't believe that he came with this little accessory. Now, the back of the phone isn't quite as detailed as the briefcase was, but if you've seen these phones in person, then you know this isn't far off from the truth. I mean, they don't call them bricks for nothing. Next up, he comes with this little tiny mask, and that is awesome. Now, I don't know why this little robot would be wearing this mask. I don't even know if he's got a mouth or nose, but you know what? That is awesome. And just look how weathered it is. Even the elastic bands are weathered. That is so cool. And flipping it over, it looks like a real mask. Now, when I first saw this thing, I thought, I don't know how I would feel putting it on this figure, because with those antennas, I'd be afraid they'd break. But I just noticed that the antenna on his right side is totally removable. It just slides right out of that little hole, and that is awesome. And with that antenna being easily removable, well, you can put this mask on without a fear of breaking that antenna off, and that is an awesome feature. And that mask looks so cute on his face with that little sweat drop. I love it. Oh, and when I was removing the antenna the first time, I noticed this little brown square on his head. It's a little flap where you can look inside and see the motor inside of his head, and that is so cool. Back to his accessories, he comes with these twin antennas that are joined at the base, and they have a little post at the bottom. And if you remember on the little note card, it shows that they attach on the back of his head with the smaller antenna facing out to the left. And I honestly didn't think that it was possible for his head to get even bigger, but with those two new antennas attached, it just did. Now, speaking of which, these four antennas on this side over here are very, brittle feeling, so be very careful with them. If it was to fall, it might break one of those antennas. Now, this antenna over here, the taller one, is actually a bit more flexible, so that's kind of strange that that one's flexible, but these over here aren't. But it doesn't matter, as long as you can keep them from tumbling over. These look really cool. His next accessory is a bowl of ramen, and man, that looks so real. That glossiness, it looks wet. Everything about it looks so good. You can see the egg and the meat and everything. The noodles just look so awesome. The noodles especially look so real, and I absolutely love the way they're colored, and the inside of that bowl too. Just look at the way it's colored as well. The color on the inside of the bowl definitely stands out when you look at the bottom, because the bottom's super clean. And if our GansBoy businessman plans to eat, then he's definitely going to need these next two accessories. You get a pair of chopsticks holding noodles, and another pair on a hashioki, a little chopstick rest, and that is awesome. And where better to display your little bowl of ramen and chopsticks than on the included table? And man, this table is awesome. No joke, when I pulled this out of the package, I wasn't sure if it was actually made out of plastic or real wood. Now, I'm pretty sure it's plastic, but man, when you feel it, this rough part down here does feel like wood, and then up here the same thing, and then this smoother part feels like a different type of wood, and that is so cool. But they did such a great job on this. The paint, the texture, everything about it looks so amazing. Yeah, this is cool. And it is sized perfectly to work with the GansBoy businessman. He looks so good standing in front of it. And honestly, I didn't know this was even included with this figure until recently. And when I saw it in the promo photos, I thought, oh, wouldn't it be so awesome to get a little table to go with the little GansBoy? And you know what? They did. They included it. And it looks so good with that food resting on it. So here's the GansBoy businessman at his local sushi shop waiting to get that call so he can land the big deal, and he looks like he's worried they're not gonna call. Man, chill out and eat your food before it gets cold, businessman. You're gonna get the deal. You're that good. Now, even though he looks a little worried and sweaty, he is a top-notch businessman and he knows how to delegate. So he called in his friends, Tony and Old Bone, to help him while he eats. Now, as you can see, Tony is handling the phone side of the conversation, and it looks like he's doing a really good job arguing there. And Old Bone is standing around waiting so he can install the batteries inside GansBoy's head. Now, when I first opened this figure, I was certain he was way bigger than the Death Gas Station figures, but as you can see, their heads almost go to the exact same height. And then if you look at the GansBoy's shoulders, they're a lot lower. So obviously it's not using the same body. I don't know if it has shorter legs or what, but the legs felt the same and the arms feel the same, and I assume the body was just padded up. But as you can see, they're in the exact same scale and everything, and they look so good together, man. They are awesome. And obviously Tony thinks that little thing there is either a microphone or something to eat. Stop it, Tony! Final thoughts. What do I think about this GansBoy businessman? Well, even though he looks worried to hear the answer, I absolutely love this figure. He has been so much fun just to play with. I have been smiling the entire time I've been making this review, and man, Park Zhi, thank you so much for sending him to me, because had you not sent it to me, I might not have ever experienced playing with a figure like this. He has been awesome. Now, when I first saw these figures advertised online, I thought, oh, I don't know if I'd ever get one of those. They're cute, but I'd be so afraid I'd break those antennas. And yes, the antennas, these two here and those two that go on the back, are a little bit more stiff and brittle feeling, but this figure's fallen over a couple of times while making this review, and I haven't broke them off yet. And yeah, so I don't think you're going to break it as easy as you think. Yes, if it fell off the shelf, it might break, but that's true of basically anything. The worst thing that has happened is this antenna right here has fallen out of the hole a few times, but big deal, it's made to do that. But yeah, this figure is absolutely awesome, and I love it. I have had so much fun just playing with him. He's so full of character. It's just so cute. And these accessories, oh my goodness, they look so good. And I didn't even mention that aside from the mask and all that stuff, you'll notice that little bag right there. Well, he actually included a couple more little accessories. It's just wrist joints or ankle joints or something. I'm assuming it's wrist joints. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. So provided I can get some batteries, which I haven't been able to get them yet, I would love to see his eyes lit up. But honestly, if you're not able to get batteries, like I'm unable to get batteries right now, it doesn't matter because he looks so good even without it lit up. And you know what? This figure is awesome. So thank you, Park Zhi, for sending it. Seriously, you have made my day, and this is just so awesome. So there's my review of the Damtoys COALDOG Kow Yokoyama Maschinen Krieger GansBoy businessman. And this figure is awesome. He is so cute and full of character, and like I said, he has been so much fun just to play with, and I highly recommend him. And like I said, there are two to choose from. You have the U2 astronaut and you have this one, and I honestly believe whichever one you get, you will love it. And thank you again to Park Zhi for sending me this figure to review. Without you, I never would have gotten to play with this figure, so thank you. It means so much. And I hope everybody liked this review. I'm sorry I couldn't light up his eyes, but I looked everywhere for some batteries and I just couldn't find any. So trust me, his eyes light up. And even without the light up function, he looks good. So yeah, you don't really need it, but yes, it's a feature that is there. And honestly, like I said, I hope everybody liked this review. Thank you again to Park Zhi, and I hope everyone at COALDOG, Park Zhi, and Kow Yokoyama didn't mind my silly review. And until next time, tune in for more food reviews.
Hey, this is Nolan North. You don't want to miss Food Reviews.